Hey y'all, I'm April Mckinney and I am going to be sharing with you today 5 tips to help you thrive in 2014. Now before I get started with these tips, I just want to tell you that I am not a nutritionist, I'm not an exercise expert or any of those things, but I do have my own experience to go off of and what's worked for me to really maintain my weight. A little over a year ago, I lost about 10 to 12 pounds. I wasn't really trying to lose a lot of weight, but based on some of these things that I did, these little changes that I made, the weight just sort of came off. And for this whole year, I've been able to maintain that without feeling like I'm restricted or like I'm on a diet all the time or anything like that. It's been a pretty simple transition. It just took forming some of these habits and implementing them in my everyday life to really make a difference. So that's what I'm sharing with you. So the first one is eat a healthy breakfast. I recommend smoothies. And the reason I recommend smoothies is because I've been doing this for over a year now, and it has made such a huge difference in just my day-to-day what I eat. Because when I wake up, I eat, I have a smoothie, and I've got recipes on my website, aprilmckinney.com. It's got berries, usually frozen berries, a banana, almond milk, or maybe a little pomegranate juice, protein powder sometimes. And so this is such a healthy thing to start. Oh, and I always add some kind of leafy green in there, whether it's spinach or baby kale, something like that. And it just makes such a difference in how I feel the whole day. And what you eat for breakfast, I think, is going to determine what you eat for lunch and what you eat for dinner. And with that kind of a healthy start to your day, you're going to make healthier decisions throughout the day and then even into the night. So that is the first big, very important tip that has been huge for me this past year. Okay, so number 2 is be intentional about what you buy at the grocery store. Read food labels. I know you've heard this before, but it really does make a difference. I mean, if you buy marinara sauce, barbecue sauce, salad dressings, if you're buying those things at the grocery store, which I think is totally fine. I know not everybody has time to make all their own condiments, but you've got to make sure you're looking at those labels, because that makes a big difference. If you're eating healthy and you're buying a salad dressing that says fat-free, but you look at the back and there's 15 grams of sugar and a couple tablespoons of it, that's a lot. And that is really kind of what's happening with a lot of these, especially low-fat and fat-free things at the grocery store. They're adding sugar, they're adding other things to kind of make up for the no fat. So that is something that I've really done and been intentional about, and it's made a big difference. Also, if you've got to go in the organic section of the grocery store and you have to spend a little bit more money, it's worth it to me to spend a little more money and feel good about what I'm eating. Number 3 is don't let one meal ruin your whole day. And this is something that I used to do, and I've seen done before by a lot of people. But you go, maybe you that morning you go to work and there's donuts, or it's a Saturday and you go to Cracker Barrel and you have biscuits and gravy and all that good stuff, and then you think, well, the whole day's ruined, and so for lunch you have pizza or whatever, and you kind of keep going with that the day's ruined theme, and you just eat whatever all day and you feel gross. And that can even carry into the next day, because you think, well, the whole weekend's ruined. And then you start getting out of your healthy, eating habits, and it can just drag on. My advice is go ahead and enjoy whatever it is, an indulgence every now and then, whether it's donuts one morning or something like that. But balance it out with the rest of the meals in the day. Have a salad for lunch, eat something a little healthier for dinner. Just change the rest of the day based on what you have, that morning, or for lunch. If you have something a little bit unhealthy for lunch, make it up at dinner time. That's my whole thing, is just keep everything in balance. Okay, number 4. This one is a big one I think this was a really big one for me in maintaining weight loss, was limiting alcohol and diet drinks. I know it's a little bit tough, especially, for some people with the diet sodas, and I was probably drinking, a diet drink a day, which didn't seem like that big of a deal, but once I just stopped buying them, I stopped drinking them, and guess what I started drinking? Water. This is water. I just have a little orange slice in here to add some flavor to it, and I started drinking so much more water. And I think limiting all that artificial sweeteners that are in the diet sodas, I don't know what the science is behind it, but it definitely made a difference. I know that some people crave more sweets when they're drinking diet drinks, so that could be part of it. It may make you hungrier, but I know it's made a big difference for me. And now I mean, I may have one diet drink every couple weeks, but I don't miss it. It's just, I'm kind of over it. And as far as the alcohol, you know, you get used to having a glass of wine every night, but one glass of wine is 150 calories. Think about how that adds up. And then you start to cut that out, you know, maybe you only have a drink 2 or 3 times a week as opposed to every night having something. That's really going to cut a lot of calories out, and you just don't need it, you know? So that's kind of my thinking on that, and it's, like I said, that's worked for me. It's been a great part of this year that I think's really contributed to being able to maintain a healthy weight. My last thing is changing up the exercise routine. If you don't exercise at all, definitely get in the gym and start exercising, and that'll be great. But for me, you know, I've been exercising for a really long time. have been obsessive about it at times, but in high school I started exercising, and really since then I always have done it. But I got to a point, you know, when I got married, and I was just going to the gym and maybe getting on the elliptical for 30 minutes and leaving. I may throw in a machine every now and then, but I wasn't doing anything different. I was just doing my cardio and getting out. And I started to notice that I was gaining weight even while I was exercising. And I thought I was eating pretty healthy. But so I began to just change up what I did. I started going to some of the classes, and I know sometimes they look a little bit intimidating, and maybe at first they were a little bit intimidating, but it has just been huge for me. Just having that schedule and, you know, having a time that you go. I know I can't afford a personal trainer right now, so if you can't, but you're a part of a gym, they usually offer those classes for free, and you get such a better workout. Or maybe you want to try, you know, a new exercise routine at home. You know, I've done that too. And anything like that, I think, where you can change up what you're doing for exercise makes a huge difference. I know it has for me. So about every 2 or 3 months, I really try to change up what I'm doing, and I don't just do cardio anymore. I do weights, and that's helped. It's been huge. So that's my advice: change up your exercise routine. And that is the 5 tips that I think will make a really big difference. I know they've made a really big difference for me this year, and I think those are 5 things that, you know, especially if you can do them all, or at least even 2 or 3 of them that you can do, it's going to make a difference in your weight. It's going to make a difference in how you feel, and I think it's going to help you have a wonderful 2014. So, hope you'll take some of this advice. Let me know what you think. Please comment below this video. You can check out my website where I've got a lot of healthy recipes that you can implement some of these tips in. It's aprilmckinney.com. Also, be sure to check out my Facebook page, Cooking with April McKinney, and subscribe to this video if you enjoyed it, and you'll get an email every time I make a new video. So, I hope you guys have a very happy new year, and I'll see you next time.